September 12th, the day that my private post was made public without my consent, was one of the worst days of my life.
Straight ahead on IU NewsNet, free speech in flux. A Ball State staff member fired for a post about Charlie Kirk is now taking the university to court.
Plus, after slipping last year, IU's Kelley School of Business finds itself back near the top of some national rankings. We'll tell you what spot Kelley claimed and how the business school got there.
And we've come to know and love Hoosier the Bison since his big debut last month. Find out how some fans got to meet him up close and personal. IU NewsNet starts now. Welcome to IU NewsNet. I'm Shelby Brown.
And I'm Emma Gladstone. The past 2 weeks have been a whirlwind for Ball State's former Director of Health Promotion and Advocacy. She was fired for a Facebook post she made following the murder of politician influencer Charlie Kirk.
Now the ACLU is helping Suzanne Swartz bring a lawsuit against the university. The grounds? Violation of her free speech. Our Lacey Carr spoke with her and joins us in the studio with a story making national news. Lacey?
Thanks, Emma and Shelby. Suzanne Swartz told me she's had death threats. And with the help of the ACLU, she is taking legal action against the Ball State president who fired her. I sat down to hear her story and the growing concerns about the change in free speech on college campuses and elsewhere.
Like, one of my first initial reactive emotions was terror.
Suzanne Swartz described September 12th as one of the worst days of her life. On her private Facebook page, she made a post expressing sympathy for the Kirk family, but objecting to some of Kirk's views, starting her post with, "Let me be clear, if you think Charlie Kirk was a wonderful person, we can't be friends." Someone screenshotted and shared it, along with her Ball State faculty picture, publicly.
I just feel very violated in a way, and knowing that someone on my Facebook friends list would have been the person to take the screenshot that then got distributed in the way it did, in a number of different public ways, is again just unbelievable.
After the post publicly hit the internet, Swartz started to receive threats.
I did receive a voicemail to my personal cell phone that listed my full name, including my middle name, my title at work, my full home address, and that maybe I deserve what Charlie got.
But the harassment didn't end there. Someone then filed a complaint to the Eyes on Education portal set up by Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita. On the portal, people can file a concern about educators by filling out an online form and clicking Submit to Portal. The public can also read previous submissions. Swartz's comments fall within a group titled Charlie Kirk Submissions.
After her termination, Swartz sought legal counsel from the American Civil Liberties Union of Indiana. Her lawyer, Stevie Pachter, says Ball State and its president, Jeffrey Mearns, are in direct violation of Swartz's First Amendment rights for firing her solely because of a private Facebook post.
The question is the content, is her expression itself disruptive to what the organization is attempting to do? And of course it isn't. Their mission is to educate adults, college students. There is nothing about expressing a personal message on Facebook that implicates that.
But Swartz says this suit is not just about herself.
A lot of people, and especially like public employees and public servants, feel a bit chilled in their speech and a bit silenced right now. And I don't think that's okay.
The debate over free speech is simmering nationally as well. This week, just 6 days after the parent company of ABC suspended late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel, he returned to the air with a monologue centered on the First Amendment. Kimmel's comments that drew the suspension were about Charlie Kirk's accused killer and about Donald Trump. Shelby, now back to you.
Thanks, Lacey. Charlie Kirk's organization, Turning Point USA, is sending a familiar name to speak at IU next month, former Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson. Kirk was scheduled to speak at IU October 21st, and Carlson will speak in his place at 6:30 p.m. Turning Point is making 11 campus visits with a variety of different conservative speakers. Kirk's wife, Erica, is now Turning Point's CEO. IU's Turning Point chapter says registration is free and open to the public, but the exact campus location is pending.
Just about everywhere you go on campus, there's buzz about the 4-0 IU football team. IU is now ranked 11th after beating 9th-ranked Illinois by more than 50 points. More than 55,000 fans stayed in the stands Saturday as IU destroyed Illinois. Final score 63-10. There's a lot of talk about Coach Curt Cignetti's first top 10 victory, following a strong initial season as coach last year. Indiana was favored to win, but no one expected this beatdown. Following the game, Illinois slid number 23 in the AP poll. And though the Hoosiers shot up to number 11, not everyone is happy with that ranking.
I think we should be above Texas. I think we should be top 10. I think we have a better resume than Texas. We beat Illinois, who was 9 at the time, by like 50 points.
I think they should be higher between the collection of what they did last year. And the one thing that I haven't fully understood is they haven't played anybody. That's what everyone says, right? I don't really care who you play. You beat a Big Ten team by 53 points. That's incredibly impressive. It was incredibly impressive last year. It's still incredibly impressive now. You know, this is what used to happen to Indiana, and now it's what Indiana's doing to everyone else.
We definitely are a football school. I'm hearing some rumors that we definitely should be higher up. Like a 53-point win to a Big Ten school. I'm thinking we deserve top 10.
The Hoosiers face a tough test in less than 2 weeks when they play the 6th-ranked Oregon Ducks on the road.
When it comes to football spirit, nobody does it better than Hoosier the Bison. The old mascot is back for the first time since the 1960s, and he seems to be everywhere at football games, soccer games, and even on Kirkwood Avenue. Our Ashley Voss tells us how some fans got to meet him face to face.
What an entrance. Hoosier the Bison came in on a parachute to greet football fans for the opening game. But he's also taking to the streets, making a surprise appearance at the Indiana shop for a pop-up meet and greet. Kids and college students alike showed up to share a hug, snap a photo, or to just give Hoosier a high five. Literally his dream come true. One alum who just happened to stop by was actually the IU mascot named Hoosier Spirit back in 1979.
We just came in to kind of look at some clothing and stuff like that, and we just saw the bison, so I had to get my picture taken with the bison.
After almost a 60-year hiatus, Hoosier the Bison is charming a new generation and bringing new energy to campus, all while celebrating decades of tradition.
Somebody had actually sent me a video of the bison coming in on a parachute. I guarantee you, I did not come in on a parachute back in 1979.
I think it's great that there's now a symbol. It's kind of like an embodiment of Indiana University. And I think it came at an amazing time now, coming off of a historic football season.
History in the making, 2 high fives at a time. For IU NewsNet, I'm Ashley Voss.
If you missed out on meeting Hoosier this time around, not to worry. You can keep up with the big guy by following him on Instagram at Hoosier the Bison.
There's also plenty of Hoosier the Bison merchandise around Bloomington. And Home Field Apparel, a brand started by 2 IU alums, is a fan favorite. The brand opened its first retail store at Trax, a longtime record store on Kirkwood Avenue. Our Josie Broyles has more on Trax evolution. Josie?
Thanks. I'm here at what was once Trax, now transformed into Home Field at Trax. The store first opened in 1988, originally known for selling their vinyl records, before becoming a go-to spot for IU gear. Now, Home Field has taken over, marking their first ever retail partnership with Trax. CEO Connor Hitchcock says the Bloomington staple was the obvious choice, since the brand has always been rooted in Indiana. Home Field at Trax celebrated their grand opening with a bison poster giveaway, bringing new life to a Kirkwood staple while keeping its Hoosier roots front and center.
But I gotta say, really at first, it was kind of a shock that they were completely gutting the place and changing it. But other than that, it's been pretty nice, yeah.
Home Field at Tracks will continue to sell their vintage sweatshirts, t-shirts, and other IU memorabilia. They'll remain operating at their normal store hours, open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mondays through Saturdays, and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays. Now, back to you guys at the desk.
And when we come back, even more reports of sexual assaults on IU's campus. We'll tell you when and where they were reported as part of our ongoing Red Zone coverage.
Plus, we'll go inside Hispanic Heritage Month with the festive kickoff to the celebration. It's one that means even more this year for our Hispanic and Latino community. New this week, 3 sexual assaults have been reported on the IU campus. We are in the red zone, the months between late August and Thanksgiving, when sexual assaults tend to rise on campus. The most recent case was reported Tuesday and involved an incident at the Sigma Pi fraternity house. Another assault was reported Monday for an incident on Saturday, the 14th. The location was listed as Cedar Hall. The 14th was also the listed date of an incident at Foster Residence Hall, reported to IU police 4 days later.
By now, you've certainly seen the cranes and heard the construction. That's because apartments are going up near the Poplars Garage in downtown Bloomington, and construction is inching toward completion. They're called the Beverly Apartments, and they'll house primarily IU graduate students and faculty members. It includes 158 units with 24 studio apartments. The Poplars building, once a women's dorm and a hotel, stood in that spot for almost 60 years, but was demolished in 2022 to make room for the new housing. The Beverly is set to open next summer. The Beverly is far from the only new addition to Bloomington's skyline. A new hotel is open on Kirkwood Avenue, but it's not your typical hotel. We'll send it over to IU NewsNet's Olivia Wilson to Kirkwood to give us more details. Olivia?
Yeah, that's right. I'm here at Posh, the brand new hotel on Kirkwood Avenue. This new multi-million-dollar establishment is going to give guests a pretty good view of downtown Bloomington. But it's not just any hotel with a great view. It's what General Manager Matt Swisher calls a boutique hotel. A boutique hotel is a small, independently owned hotel. The goal of these unique spaces, to give a connection to local culture. One way Posh achieves this is by providing breakfast from Gables Bagels, a locally owned bagel shop, along with a courtesy shuttle driver who will drop guests off anywhere within a 3-mile radius. Pricing ranges from $349 to over $1,000 a night for busier dates. That's all from Kirkwood. Now back to you.
Thanks, Olivia. Posh is now taking reservations, and those busier dates like homecoming weekend are high in demand, with prices exceeding $1,000 a night.
Moving back to campus now, the Academic Support Center at Briscoe Quadrangle hosted its very first open house of the semester, inviting students to get tutoring help. The Residence Hall Association helped stage the open houses to promote IU's 3 academic counseling centers. Students enjoyed free boba while learning about the many tutoring resources they can take advantage of. The ASC team and Residence Hall Association plans to run 2 more open houses this fall, one hosted at Teeter and the other at Forest.
After slipping slightly in last year's rankings, IU's Kelley School of Business is making its way back to the top. Its undergraduate business program is now ranked number 8 nationally, according to the 2026 U.S. News & World Report. That's up from 9th place last year, reclaiming Kelley's spot among the country's top programs.
When I was choosing to go here in the first place, the ranking was a really big deal for me. That's actually why I chose to go to Kelley instead of any other school that I applied to. So it was a pretty big deal when I found out that we went even higher in the rankings.
Rankings, signify a lot. Signifies, how good the students are, how, academically rigorous the institution is, and kind of the career path after that. And, being at least top 10 means that we are more likely to have a more successful future than I guess you could say about other top 10 other business schools in general.
Just a huge confidence booster, someone that didn't know what they were going to do in business school. Coming in knowing it's a top 10 program has consistently been a top 10 program, and I've really felt that since being on campus. The organizations I've joined, the resources I've been able to use, I've loved every second of it, and it makes me feel really good, especially as a senior, that we've stayed at that level.
And it wasn't just Kelly making headlines. IU's School of Nursing in Indianapolis also earned national recognition, ranked 13th in the nation.
September 15th to mid-October is Hispanic Heritage Month, a chance to celebrate Hispanic and Latino culture across the nation. And it's a month with deep ties here locally. Our Isaac Perlich has the story.
As the calendar turns to mid-September, Switchyard Park turns into a place of celebration, complete with drums, trumpets, and of course, maracas.
We are celebrating our culture, but it's open to all the groups of Bloomington.
It's all a part of La Fiesta del Otoño, or the Autumn Festival, a heart of celebration, recognition, and education about Hispanic and Latino culture in Bloomington. La Fiesta started back in 2005, and this year's theme is all about
finding strength in community, because if we come together, we are stronger. And that's what we have seen in Bloomington. We all belong to the same city.
It's a timely theme.
Things are definitely kind of hard right now, I think, especially for Latino people. And so it's really wonderful to be able to see us still come and celebrate.
Celebrate the culture, but also
to show the Latino Hispanic community that lives here in Bloomington to the rest of the community.
Here, community runs deeper than just next door.
I can see tons of familiar faces because here we know each other. Even though we do not live next to each other, we feel like neighbors.
For IU NewsNet, I'm Isaac Perlich.
It was a beautiful day for the Festival del Otoño last Saturday, but this week's weather has been all over the place.
Our own Claire Tips joins us from the IU NewsNet Weather Center with what we can expect going forward. Claire?
Thanks, Emma and Shelby. You are absolutely right. This week has been kind of a crazy week as far as weather goes, and we have been seeing a little bit of a shift since Isaac told us about the weather last week. So last week we were talking about more summery temperatures, kind of in the 80s, and that was a little weird for this late into September. But now we have seen a little bit of that fall rain starting Saturday evening. If you were at the Illinois game, you would know you definitely got poured on, and into even this morning, we were seeing a little bit of showers very early into this morning, but now we've seen a little bit of a cool off. So across the board here, like central and southern Indiana, we're seeing about in between 74 and 76 degrees. That's pretty consistent across the board, although we are seeing a little bit of a spike up in here, Terre Haute. But otherwise it's still pretty consistent, and that's as far as the cool off goes. But what about this evening? Well, after today, we are going to see a little bit of a shift. It's going to drop almost 20 degrees by tonight. So this morning we saw some of those clouds, but the sun did start to peek in a little bit just a moment ago. When we're going to start to see that partial cloudiness still into this evening around 9 p.m. It is going to be 65 degrees, so already dropping 10 degrees, and then that is going to continue to drop to 56 degrees by 3 a.m. this evening, and those clouds are going to completely disappear. It's going to be clear skies. But don't be fooled by those cooler temperatures. The humidity is actually going to rise to almost 90%. So if you're anything like me, you're going to be looking like Monica from Friends with the big hair. So I am not looking forward to that. But what about this weekend? We are going to be seeing our first away game of the season against Iowa Hawkeyes. So if you are traveling out to that game, you're going to start to see, again, those summertime temperatures. We are not at all yet approaching fall. Those July temperatures in September are still very much here. The rain did not stop us, so if you are traveling to that away game, and at kickoff, it's going to be at 2:30 p.m. In Iowa, 3:30 if you're watching here from at home on your TV. But if you are going there, it's going to be 80 degrees and sunny, and it is not going to cool off that much throughout the game. When the Hoosiers win at the end of the game, of course they will, it's only going to cool off just a few degrees. It's going to be like 76, so definitely bring your sunscreen and stay in the shade if you can. But when we come back to campus, We are going to see, again, those summertime temperatures. We are not at all near fall yet, so we're going to see sunny days ahead, but we will see cooler temperatures in the evening. It's going to drop almost 30 degrees. So what is that going to look like on a day-to-day basis? Well, throughout the week, each day, we are going to see those cooler temperatures, but definitely during the day, we're going to see high 80s. So starting off this weekend or today and tomorrow, we're going to have kind of that cool off still from the rain this week. But starting Saturday, oh my gosh, it's going to get way up to those 80s again. But even with it being super hot during the day, we're still going to see 50s, mid 50s in the evening. So if you have class early in the morning, you're going to feel a lot of those cooler temperatures. So maybe bring a jacket. But then when you're walking around in the afternoon, you can shed a layer because it's going to be hot again. So that should be it for our weekly weather recap. I'm going to send it back to you guys at the desk, Emma and Shelby.
Thank you, Claire. And when we come back, it's a great time to be an IU fan. Find out how volleyball and men's soccer are faring this fall.
And Coach Sig and the Hoosiers are rolling just in time for their first road matchup of the season. IU NewsNet Sports is up next. Stay with us. Welcome back. The fall sports season always brings excitement to campus, especially this year.
Men's soccer, volleyball, and football have all made it very easy for fans to cheer on Crimson and Cream. IU NewsNet's Riley Stark joins us with sports. Riley?
Shelby, Emma, Hoosier fans can't get enough of Indiana football right now, especially after their huge win this past weekend over number 9 Illinois. Illinois hung around in the first quarter, but could not keep up with the Hoosiers. 7 sacks on the night for the defense and 257 passing yards for Fernando Mendoza made for a 53-point gap and a very happy home crowd. Head coach Curt Cignetti says this is only a glimpse of what his QB is capable of.
He's a tremendous person. He will do everything he can to be the best he can be. It means a lot to him. He wants to be great. And he's made great progress the last couple of weeks.
Indiana men's soccer also had an incredible start to the season, but is now facing the adversity of a tough Big Ten schedule. The loss at Michigan knocked them out of the number 1 spot, and now, after a loss at Michigan State, the Hoosiers can expect to drop even lower. The Spartans sent the Hoosiers home scoreless last night, but the team is looking to bounce back tomorrow against UCLA back at home. On the flip side, IU women's soccer is still finding its footing with first-year head coach Josh Reif. The Hoosiers are 3-4 on the season with 2 draws and will take on Big Ten opponent Washington tonight at 8 here in Bloomington. IU women's volleyball is 10-1 after a win last night on the road against Northwestern. Standout freshman libero Audrey Jackson picked up her 3rd game in a row with double-digit digs, putting her at 113 on the season. The Hoosiers will continue on their Big Ten spree this weekend back at home against Washington. That's all for sports this week. Emma, Shelby, back to you guys.
Thank you, Riley. We have a couple of more things before we go.
A lot of talk about rankings today, and this is a different kind of ranking. Nick's English Hut here in Bloomington was ranked by The Athletic as one of the top 10 college bars in the country. It's known for its drinking game, Sink the Biz, but the Hut also serves as a hub for students to hang out, watch games, and grab a meal. The Athletic specifically loved that co-owner Greg Rago, aka Rags, was a walk-on wide receiver in the 1970s at IU for the legendary Lee Corso. And just steps away from Nick's, Kirkwood Avenue was alive with rhythm this weekend as IU's Marching 100 drumline took the streets. It was dark outside, so you need to look closely to see it, but you can sure hear it. 29 student members make up what they call the drumline hype, playing cymbals, snares, bass drums, and tenors. Students, band members, and Bloomington locals all gathered to take part in the home game tradition. The Marching 100 will return when the Hoosiers take on the Spartans on October 18th. And that's it for IU NewsNet this week. We have a behind-the-scenes student production team working in the control room and the student in the studio for this broadcast. We thank them and we thank you for watching. I'm Shelby Brown.
And I'm Emma Gladstone. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at IU NewsNet and check us out on the IU Media School YouTube channel. Take care and we'll see you next week.